copy with the devastating effects of the apartheid regime. Since 1994, when South African black managed to usurp power from their former colonizers, from the former apartheid regime through negotiations, specifically the CODESA negotiations. There is an issue that was not dealt by those who negotiated, which is the issue of land, specifically in the best interest of the black South Africans. About more than 80% of South Africans have less land, and a very few population of white South Africans own more than 80% of the land, whilst the black people in that country remain landless. Welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Is it a coincidence when the president of South Africa is trying to negotiate with the current president of the United States of America? We have actually claimed several times that there is a genocide that is committed to white South Africans in South Africa, and it is underreported by the media, something that the South African government has publicly distanced itself from the remarks made by Donald Trump, saying he was misinformed by those who gave him the information. As we are speaking, Cyril Ramaphosa, who is the president of the Republic of South Africa, is currently in the United States of America trying to negotiate with Trump. We had actually hit South Africa with what we can call sanctions because at the moment they took away their funding which they were doing to South Africa, and South Africa was actually slapped with 30% imports duty, and of course that is still paused pending the negotiations. But if the negotiations do not favor or advance the interest of Donald Trump in all this, we may see South Africa bearing this 30% of Donald Trump. And now Afri Forum, good timing. Was it good timing? Why did they wait for this moment to approach the South Gauteng High Court? And in their papers, they have actually cited the President of the Republic of South Africa, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, as well as the Speaker of the National Assembly. They are seeking to contest something that also Donald Trump as well as Afri Forum have issues with, that is the Land Expropriation Act. And some political parties in South Africa, like the Economic Freedom Fighters, saw the Land Expropriation Act as not sincere in terms of addressing land injustices in South Africa. But Afri Forum does not want to even give in to this act that in some way protected their interests. They view this as a threat to their land tenure rights, which they are currently enjoying in South Africa. So let's look at the grounds of their application at the High Court. Number one, they are saying the President of the Republic of South Africa ignored Section 8 of the Constitution. Then number two, they are saying he signed it a month later, negated the constitutional rights of MPs to approach the the Constitutional Court, and also, so that is the second ground. And they are also saying the constitutionality, they are contesting the constitutionality of Section 12, bracket 3 and Section 12, bracket 4, which provides zero compensation in certain cases. For example, if the land does not, there is no development, I think in the land, the government has the right to take that land, or if the owner of that land is no longer, there is contested ownership, there is no ownership of that particular land. There are certain circumstances, according to the new act, which warrant the government of South Africa to actually usurp a certain land without even making a payment, especially to the owners of the land. This is perceived as a threat, particularly to the white South Africans. You have already seen some of them have decided to go to United States of America seeking asylum since Donald Trump opened an opportunity for them to do so. You can see that white people, they are more privileged than us black people. Black people, how many times have Zimbabweans been abused in Zimbabwe? Have you ever seen any black nation speaking about the genocide, for example, that happened in Matabeleland? You would never hear that. But Donald Trump here that there is a Land Expropriation Act that has been signed by Cyril Ramaphosa. Automatically he escalated the issue to be a genocide, and the act in terms of imposing tariffs, withdrawing funding as a way of forcing the South African government to come to the negotiation table and actually offer a better deal. Now the question remains, will the ANC backtrack from this law which has been signed, that Land Expropriation Act? The ANC would move on. Now, if it moves on, it means that the white population in South Africa would not by this development at all. And if they choose to please the white population in South Africa, definitely the black majority of South Africans will take an issue with the ANC, and this may see some of the opposition political parties such as EFF manipulating this decision. So the ANC is quite in a difficult position to maneuver. Will they try to please Donald Trump at the expense of the South Africans? It's quite interesting to watch the decisions that would be taken by the South African government at this crucial moment. Now, the powers of the politicians now have been also, it's a test also to the South African courts. Will they side with the Afri Forum? If they side with the Afri Forum, then this Berkeley would have been won. We have seen the courts in South Africa intervening in political matters and deciding political matters, which also divided the people of South Africa, because some of the matters which they took, people did not like them. For example, in the case of the former president, Jacob Zuma. So it remains to be seen whether also these cited institutions, that is the presidency, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, as well as the Speaker of Parliament, will decide to oppose this matter. Quite a very, very critical time, especially for the ANC. Will ANC copy ZANU-PF in this matter? I think I've heard most of the officials saying, no, we cannot copy ZANU-PF. You see, ANC, when it sees that the national interests are at stake, they humble themselves. As erratic and as sometimes as Donald Trump, we know what Donald Trump is. They had to go to Donald Trump and negotiate which to me is a thumbs up, because when there is need for them to humble themselves, they humble themselves, particularly to the United States of America. Remember, it is the second largest trading partner with South Africa. And also it has been donating to quite a number of projects creating employment in South Africa. And the government is saying, no, we cannot ignore such a country, and we cannot ignore these threats that are at hand. But how will they deal also with Afri Forum? What if the court does not give in to the fight of Afri Forum? It's because this case, they will be fighting it mostly on technicalities. Do they stand a chance to win? It will be interesting. I think I will follow this case and see how it actually unfolds at the end of the day. Quite a difficult moment for the South Africans to deal with. Will they deal with this one? Let's watch and see. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us almost stumbling. Or you can equally press the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can also financially support us by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. It will be interesting to hear your comments, especially